Hey, my name is Jack Ellison. This is my Business 4000 ePortfolio for my capstone class as a senior in the Walker College of Business. So my education, like I said, I am a senior, graduating in May of 2024. I'm a computer information systems major. I also have a professional selling minor. In my free time, I'm the club and intramural sport program manager, as well as a founding member of the Collegiate Sales Society. I've been working with the intramural and club sports programs since fall of 2021. I started out as a referee, worked my way up to program manager, and I've been working there for about 3 years. Really enjoyed the job. That's where I spend a lot of my free time during the week to try to make some extra money, pay for rent and groceries. So that's a little bit about me and my education. Being a CIS major means that we're in the Walker College of Business. And so, as a senior and a student in the Walker College, they've laid out 5 goals that they want each student, to, regardless of your major, to demonstrate. Um, Goal one is students will think analytically to solve problems. Goal two, students will communicate successfully in writing and speech. Goal three, students will understand ethical issues. Goal four, students will possess business knowledge and technical skills. Goal five, students will be knowledgeable about the global climate or global environment of business. And so in my next slide, I'm going to go over an artifact or a piece of work that I've done throughout my time here at Appalachian State, specifically in the College of Business, that demonstrates each one of these goals and kind of describe what each project was. So as we go to the next slide, these are my 5 artifacts. Starting with artifact one, this class was called Managing Security, CIS 3840. In this class, I was given the opportunity to do a tabletop cyber attack, which is basically a hypothetical cyber attack, and you and 6 other students act as if you were the board members of this hypothetical company, and you're given an hour on a Zoom call with each other to kind of figure out all the details given in your packet that describe the situation, kind of figure out what you're supposed to do, how to follow the ethical guidelines, how to make sure that you let all stakeholders know what's happened, and then you have to try to decide and decipher how large of a breach it was. How is this going to affect the company? What does this mean going forward? And so trying to act as if you were an actual company that had just been hit by a cyber breach, which unfortunately is all too common. But fortunately, we're also spending some time as students to try to learn how to counteract that and become better in that cyberspace. Um, Artifact number two is a marketing class I took for my professional selling minor. It was called Consumer Behavior. And so this was a semester long project again where I worked with about 5 people, where we did a marketing project paper where we decided on a topic that we wanted to interview people about and then write a paper and do a presentation about our findings. And so our topic that me and my group collectively came up with is, what are the differences between people that joined Greek life and stayed in it, and people that decided they wanted to join Greek life, but they decided to drop. It didn't matter which time, how long that time period was between them joining and them deciding to drop. But we wanted to see the differences in between professionalism, networking, opportunities, both in and out of college, what that meant for their social life, how it affected their grades, and how they affected their majors, and how they were participating in class, and basically just your whole social and collegiate life, and how that affected whether you were decided to stay in a frat, or decided to drop the frat. Ended up being a really interesting paper. In our findings, we had to interview 15 people as a group, face to face, in person. And so we had to use a lot of those quotes in describing our paper. We had kind of hypothesized that at the beginning of the class when we were first starting our project, that people that had stayed in Greek life were going to demonstrate a higher social status and do better in classes and do better in their major just overall, because they're being driven by other people, and weren't being ostracized like some of the people that had dropped felt like. Our findings ended up kind of correlating with what our hypothesis was. So it was a really interesting project that we got to work through. And it took a lot of work. Both the presentation and the paper were just a lot. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good insight to how marketing research is done, especially because for big companies, marketing research takes so much longer and it's done on such a larger scale, besides interviewing 15 to 20 people about Greek life at Appalachian State. So it's a really good first step into understanding what marketing research is. And I'll probably be doing that after college. So I really enjoyed that. Artifact 3. So this one is not class related. The ethics of business and sustainability. So me and one of my friends decided to attend the Business for Good seminar in the fall of 2023. This is a seminar where they had four speakers. It was about an hour and a half, 2 hours long, each coming from different backgrounds and different things that they wanted to talk about. But overall, the theme was business for good and doing things that help sustainability, but also drive business practices. Of the four speakers, they all again came from different backgrounds. Two of them were international and focusing more on international travel, and then two of them were from actually here in North Carolina, kind of towards the coast near Wilmington, focusing on this idea of tourism and sustainability. It's really interesting because most of these topics, when you start talking about climate change and the carbon footprint, they only talk about that. They don't ever talk about the business side of it, which is very important because you can't have one without the other. There's no money or investment for the carbon footprint and how we're reducing that or how we're improving that if there's no business to be made. So it was a really interesting seminar that we went to, and it kind of hit on both. Like, we need to focus on lowering our carbon footprint and improving the climate, but you can't do that by just eliminating businesses because everybody relies on that economy. So it was a really interesting perspective that they brought, and being able to recognize both sides, I think, is the best way forward because it's such a pressing issue. So again, I really enjoyed that. And then Artifact 4, CIS 3870. This is a web and mobile development class. Took this as an elective. So again, a lot of semester long project themes here. For this one, it was a semester long project where I created an auction website and database. He created this idea of a hypothetical auction that was going to be held online. And so basically, we had to code the entire website um, to hold this auction that would have all the items to have people register and silent bidders, and making sure that none of the personal information was given out. And then we also had to obviously house a database for that so we could have all these items be listed and be able to keep track of what's been auctioned off, what is still available, how much people are bidding for it, what the prices are, who was awarded that specific item. That was probably the toughest project on this page right here. Again, I learned a lot. It gave me the opportunity to learn how to code in PHP and HTML, which I had never done before. So really enjoyed it. Definitely a challenge, but I would recommend it to any of the other CIS majors. And then Artifact 5, the last one, English 3100s. This is business writing, required for all business students in the Walker College. So we had like four main writing projects that we were going to work throughout the entire semester. But this last one, the RFP, request for proposal, was the fifth and final one, and kind of the last conglomeration of everything that we had learned in the business writing class. And so I had applied to an actual RFP in South Carolina, proposing my idea to how to grow the holistic habitat for humanity in South Carolina. And it was just a really interesting process to actually submit a business proposal. I actually ended up hearing back from the local government in South Carolina, and they said no. But I think that counts as a win, in my opinion, just being able to experience that and actually hear back and submit my ideas. Just trying to look for actual RFPs. I had a really interesting time trying to find them. I thought that a lot of RFPs were just very high level and very government budget focused only, but it turns out there's a million RFPs for a lot of different things. And I just happened to stumble upon one that was due within 3 weeks of my submission date that was for the holistic habitat for humanity, how they were going to market that, how they were going to grow their customer base, and what they were going to do to help the local economy and government. And so it was a really interesting project. Had an interest, and I enjoyed it. Definitely something I had never done before. So, the common theme here amongst all these artifacts is that yes, they're all mostly semester long projects, but they mostly gave me the opportunity to kind of go into things that I would never have gone into previously and open a lot of opportunities for things that I can take with me as I move into my next steps. So with that, kind of the whole conglomeration of what I've done here at App State and my Walker College would be my capstone choice. So the capstone choice. So I was given the opportunity to become a sales intern at Juniper Networks in the summer of 2022, going into my junior year. At this point, I did not really know what my career path was going to be. I just was a very general business major, and still trying to sift through all of the ideas and majors that App State offers. I was lucky enough to land this internship, which was 12 weeks long in Raleigh, North Carolina, which was broken up into two 6-week periods. The first 6-week period was sales development role, and then the second 6-week period was a virtual sales executive. So basically, the way that worked is that obviously when you're selling business to business, and especially at a tech company, the sales cycle is super long, and there's so many people involved. And so basically, this internship kind of started at the beginning of the sales cycle. So the sales development role is that first point of contact with the customer. They get the meetings set up to kind of start the ball rolling and see if it's both a good fit for the customer and a good fit for the company, and kind of qualifying or disqualifying prospects. And so once that happens, it passes to the virtual sales executive, which is kind of that second and third step in the sales process. So I was able to kind of see both. I was able to see they're a little bit different when it comes to booking appointments and trying to get people in for the meeting with the virtual sales executive. To then the virtual sales executive will qualify or disqualify them to then move on to the next step, which would be seeing an account executive, which I got a little bit of experience kind of working with the account executives, but they're so busy and kind of doing their own thing. I did not get to meet with them as much. But I was also fortunate enough to have a mentor throughout the entire program. I had a separate mentor for the first 6 weeks and a separate one for the second 6 weeks. Again, it just really helped harness this idea of what a business to business sales cycle is, and how the process works, and just honestly how many people are involved, and then what are the actual methods of getting in contact with your clients, and how to sell over Zoom. um, so it was really interesting, really interesting that this is kind of where I started. I ended up after this coming back and selecting my major as computer information systems because I just saw the opportunity in tech, and tech just continues to grow and grow and grow. But also kind of found something that I feel like I could do in the sales aspect of it. And so since then, I've just been full on tech sales as the career path. The summer of 2023, before going into my junior or senior year, I had an internship at Avanade, which is a partner company with Microsoft. So just taking what I learned from my capstone and at Juniper Networks, took that to Avanade, which leads me to my future plans, which this starts in July of 2024. I've accepted a job in the College Connect program at Lumen Technologies. Basically, this is a program dedicated to recent college graduates, which is a 3-year program. So the first year, you're in the entry level enterprise sales job, kind of working in the sales development role. Then after 8 months, you're scheduled to get a promotion to account executive. And then after a year of that, in the third year, you're scheduled to get another promotion to a more senior level account executive. Um, and this is all designed. It's just me and all the other people that accepted this role are college graduates. So very much looking forward to this and growing my understanding of technology, my understanding of sales, and honestly just continuing to grow my knowledge of all of this and what it means to be a full-time employee, and just bettering myself as I get older, and kind of taking what I've learned and like leapfrogging, from what I've learned at App State's Walker College of Business. So I just want to say thank you for everyone that has watched this. This is kind of my very high level overview of the last 4 years here at App State, specifically in the business school. So thank you for watching. Yeah, I hope you have a good day.